the 0-1 infinity principle. It implies that we should not give too much of things to the programmer to remember. Now we'll see an example from VLC source code. Now we all know that C language has only 32 keywords like for, if, return, etc. So the programmer has only need to remember those 32 keywords, not more than that. So that complies with the 0-1 infinity principle. Next, we'll look how VLC source code behaves according to the structured programming principle. Structured programming principle says we should be able to visualize the behavior of the program by looking at the source code. As we all know, there are three types of goto statements. First one, computed goto. Second one, assign goto. Third one, basic goto. Now I'm going to show you an example of how VLC source code violates this principle. So in here we can see there are several goto statements. So this is the first one and this is the second one. So because of having goto, we cannot visualize the behavior of this program because we don't know what type of goto they are using. So this is one example that shows VLC code how it violates this principle. If we take the defense in depth principle if we take the if we take the defense in depth principle if we take the defense in depth principle, it says if an error gets through if we take the defense in depth principle, it says if an error gets through one line of defense, it should be caught by the next line of defense. So if we explain this through this picture, there are three security lines around this person. If an attacker comes and try to attack this person, he should go through all the three security lines. If he go through the first one, he should be caught at the second defense line. So like this, if we have more lines of code, more lines of defense in our code, it satisfies the defense in depth principle. So if we take an example, so in this HTTPD HTML error function, there are three input parameters, but there is no way to check the type of those parameters. So that means it does not satisfy the defense in depth principle. Next we look at the syntactic consistency principle. It says things which look similar should be similar and things which look different should be different. Now we'll take an example from the VLC source code. Now if you look at this if condition, the developer has used two equal signs to check whether the res is equal to -1, and at the bottom line he has used one equal condition to assign the value null to pointer body. So this is a violation of syntactic consistency principle. Now we'll move on to this for loop. Now for the increment, there are three ways to write the increment. So there are three ways to increment p. P equals p plus 1, p plus plus, or p plus equals 1. So there are three ways to do the same task. That means a violation of syntactic consistency principle. If we take the defense in depth principle, it says if an error gets through one line of defense, it should be caught by the next line of defense. So if we explain this through this picture, there are three security lines around this person. If an attacker comes and try to attack this person, he should go through all the three security lines. if you go through the first one, he should be caught at the second defense line. So like this, if we have more lines of code, more lines of defense in our code, it satisfies the defense in depth principle. So if we take an example, so in this HTTPD HTML error function, there are 3 input parameters, but there is no way to check the type of those parameters. So that means it does not satisfy the defense in depth principle. Next, we'll move on to reliability. Reliability means a program should perform to its specifications under all conditions, and that means it does not fail even if an exception is occurred during the compilation. If a program is reliable, it satisfies 3 factors. First one, good type checking. Second one, good exception handling. And third one, good error handling. Now we'll move on to a code that handles the network layer of VLC Media Player. VLC support for podcasting and online video streaming, so it is very important to handle errors in that layer. These network layer errors are handled to avoid the conflicts that occur when media player connects to the web and try to play media files, or when they try to update the version of the VLC Media Player. So the developers have used struct data structures to provide error messages in network layer. There are 41 errors typically handled, and all other errors are taken as unknown errors. Next, we look about another important part of this evaluation, that is the cost and maintenance. As we discussed earlier, in C language expressivity is very low, so we have to write lot of codes, and when we are maintaining the final system, maintenance becomes very hard, and because of that it takes lot of time, effort and cost. Same thing happens to VLC source code because it uses C language. But there is a slight advantage when validating the source code because it do not have the parent-child relationship because of not having object orientation concepts. But overall, we can say maintenance is hard in VLC source code. That's all about our evaluation. Now we are planning to give a conclusion about using a C language to write the VLC source code. As a conclusion, we think VLC source code should have been a better one if developers have used C++ instead of C. When we consider about the time zone the VLC was developed, we can agree with the developers for using C language to develop VLC because that was the most optimal language at that time. If we look at this diagram, we can clearly see how languages are revolutionized to the present situation. So in here, C is in the middle. So that was the time zone the VLC was developed. So developers could not use the later languages appear after C. By analyzing facts we discussed so far, we can clearly see that there are some features that comply with the principles and some features that do not comply with the principles. In this situation, we can say this is a balanced situation, but the modern languages like C#, Java could have been the most suitable ones to code the VLC player.